Hello, Silver King homeowners. Thank you for taking the time to watch our annual rental update again as we head into ski season. I'm Kelley Kowalski, Vice President of Marketing for All Seasons Resort Lodging.
I'm Chad Christensen, Director of Revenue.
And I'm Wedeking, Director of Owner Services. Today we're going to give you a rental performance update, share our marketing initiatives, and give an owner services recap. And now I'm going to turn it over to Chad for a rental performance update.
Thanks, Ben. So let's get into a rental performance update, starting with how we performed last winter. Overall, we had a great winter. We identified early that the booking window was extended. Guests were booking months earlier than previous years. With bookings coming in earlier, we adjusted our pricing strategy to maximize revenue. I was doing competitive rate shops and positioning our rates a good margin over our competitors in an effort to slow things down to avoid selling out too early, but bookings just kept coming in. After a winter with no group business, we started to see that market segment start to recover. We are excited to host the Sundance Institute group again, but unfortunately the festival shifted to virtual last minute. Here you can see occupancy in December and January missed by a small margin. In December, because consumer confidence was not extremely high yet due to COVID, and January due to Sundance falling off last minute. But then February and March, we had significant occupancy gains. Then ADR growth was almost off the charts for all months. While year-over-year occupancy growth is a good indicator of success, a better indicator would be how did we perform against our competition. Here you can see we beat our comp set occupancy for all months. And here you can see a roll-up of the full winter, December through March year-over-year. We hit 70% occupancy while the comp set only managed 62%. Getting into summer, most events and activities resumed. 4th of July, Park City, Kimball Arts Fest, and concerts all returned to normal. After missing the past few years, Math Group returned. I really like this group because generally they stay for 20 nights. This group is not booked for next summer yet, but has expressed interest in returning. Unfortunately, the Triple Crown softball tournament did not return and will not be returning in 2023. All signs indicate that they will not be ever returning. Despite our efforts to keep Triple Crown in Park City, the city did not invite them back. The city is working on a sustainable tourism plan, which Kelley will get into more in depth later, but we believe Triple Crown not being invited back is part of what that plan is trying to address. The summer did have some challenges. The pent-up COVID demand, which resulted in more travelers in spring and fall, ended. We returned to more of a normal summer demand pattern, with most guests staying July and August, with fewer travelers May, June, and September, October. Also, gas prices and inflation were a major concern and no doubt impacted travel decisions. Despite some of those challenges, we had a successful summer. All months were able to beat previous year occupancy, and similarly, all months were able to push ADR higher, most significantly in July and August. And here you can see our annual gross rental revenue per room. You will notice declines in 2020 and 2021 due to COVID, but then a massive recovery in 2022. It should be noted the 2022 number is a forecast based on how we think November and December are going to finish, but by all accounts, a great year.
Sounds like we're in for a great rest of the year, Chad. Thanks. Both of our ski areas opened early this season, and we have the best early season snow that we've seen in a while. That's definitely sparked a lot of interest and bookings for Park City. Speaking of the ski areas, for the most part, things are back to normal in terms of ski area operations. Park City Mountain does have daily capacity limits in place and will cut off same-day ticket sales as needed to ensure a positive guest experience, in addition to charging for parking and requiring a parking reservation at the Mountain Village base area. As I'm sure many of you heard, Park City Mountain received a lot of backlash last season due to the long lift lines, lack of open terrain, and a handful of restaurants that never opened. We shared with you in one of our recent newsletters that Ski Magazine ranked Park City Mountain in last place on its 30 best ski resorts in the West. From a tourism standpoint, Park City Mountain Resort's drop to last place on the list is concerning as one of Park City's major winter attractions. That perception that could have an impact on Park City is something that we are definitely keeping a close eye on. On a more positive note, Park City is still a very appealing destination. Our other ski area, Deer Valley Resort, came in at number 2 on Ski Magazine's list and has consistently stayed in the top 5 for more than 10 years. That, paired with Park City's easy access from Salt Lake Airport, year-round recreation, family-friendly attractions, and world-class restaurants, make Park City one of the world's most popular vacation spots. Another huge draw of tourism is the Sundance Film Festival, which is back. January 19th to the 29th, this festival is currently planned to be both in-person and online, so it's going to have that hybrid aspect. As we mentioned earlier, the festival was moved to a 100% online format at the last minute last year. We really hope that doesn't happen. Signs are looking good that it will not. We've contracted with the Sundance Institute, other festival sponsors, and corporate groups for group lodging, and we're able to do that because of the large pool of inventory that we have available under one roof. All Seasons Resort Lodging has that benefit to secure group business, and that's something that you won't get with smaller management companies that just don't have the volume to be able to support larger groups. Let's go back to that sustainable tourism initiative that Chad mentioned earlier. This all started last July in 2021 when the Park City Chamber and Visitors Bureau worked with other community stakeholders, including residents and homeowners, to put together a destination assessment to really see what the impact of tourism was having on our community. What the assessment revealed was that tourism is really testing the capacity of Park City's current infrastructure, and that Park City's residents are approaching a breaking point from over-tourism. One of the main concerns was that our key natural assets are at risk of degradation if something doesn't change. Ultimately, the goal of the Sustainable Tourism Initiative is to give the destination more stewardship and not more promotion. The end result was a 10-year plan aimed at ensuring that community and environmental needs are considered with the same weight as the economic benefits. One of the points in the Sustainable Tourism Plan is that there is a need to develop an art and culture tourism asset in addition to the natural resources that we have. And that would mean more well-managed events and festivals to attract the ideal visitor. And the ideal visitor is, in Park City's mind, families, outdoor recreation lovers, appreciators of art and culture, really those who will respect our community. Notice that I said well-managed events and festivals. One of the earlier surveys in the initial stages of this plan was asking residents how they felt about the Triple Crown softball tournament and the impact that that had. Many residents and businesses on Main Street expressed concern over the overcrowding, the lack of available infrastructure, and we believe that that is the reason that that event was canceled and will not be back in Park City. We have spoken directly to the Chamber of Commerce and continue to have conversations with leaders within the Chamber to make sure that we support these festivals. We love the off-season events such as Triple Crown that keep our vacation rentals full year-round. I've only scratched the surface on the Sustainable Tourism Initiative, so I'll link the entire plan in the description in this YouTube video so you can check it out for yourself. And once again, Park City's popular and things aren't slowing down. This season's off to a great start, so I'll hand it back to Chad for a look at how Silver King is pacing for the rest of the season.
Thanks, Kelley. On this slide, we can see our occupancy pace compared to previous years. December and January are off to a great start with some nice group business. December, we have a nice group earlier in the month, and January has Sundance Institute. February is about flat to last year, while March is a bit behind. Last year, the booking window for March was out of the norm. We are seeing a shift to more of a normal booking window for that month. On this slide, you can see where occupancy ended for the past 3 years. December has already passed previous year's actuals, and January is on the right trajectory. February is off to a great start, and rate increases will likely be something we see going forward. March is not quite in the booking window yet, but I am comfortable with where it is right now, and I will keep a close eye on this month going forward. And here we are looking at pacing ADR compared to previous years. You can see great ADR growth for December and January. We are a bit behind in February and March. All early reports mentioned we should not expect to see ADRs like we saw last year, so the market positioned rates accordingly. As time is going by, we are seeing quite strong demand, so the market is allowing for rate increases. So as time goes by, I would expect to see February and March rates start to catch up to last year.
All right, let's look at some marketing. Search engine marketing, also known as SEO, is still a core component of our marketing strategy. We've continued to create content throughout the year to keep potential visitors excited and informed about Park City, and also to signal to search engines that we're a reputable source. You can see here in the graphic to your right that there's a picture next to our organic search listing. That's a component of our technical SEO work, just to make sure that we stay on top. We also take advantage of opportunities like Google's Hotel Finder to bring more direct bookings to Silver King. Along with our search engine optimization efforts, we also always are paying for keywords to bring people to our website through ads. That's what you're seeing at the top here in red. And to the right is what is called the knowledge panel, and that's our Google listing for Silver King. These three pieces are key to dominating search results. And we don't stop there. Staying top of mind with our past guests and email subscribers is a constant throughout the year. Our open rate is up over 28% over the same time last year, and we're continuing to reach our guests at the right time to encourage them to rebook. You can rest assured that Silver King is highly visible. In addition to everything I just mentioned, we make sure that Silver King is visible on other relevant travel-related websites. You'll see us on TripAdvisor, the Park City Chamber, Visitors Bureau, Utah.com. We have the business listings on Google and Bing. We're on Facebook, Cvent. That's a channel for group business and meetings. And all of the major booking sites, of course. You will not get this with other operators. No one matches our distribution and presence. And none of them will be able to because of all of the investments that we've made and continue to make to market Silver King on all of these websites. We talked about this in last year's presentation, and we talk about it a lot in our newsletters, but we are still going strong on Vrbo. Some property management companies rely only on their website and Vrbo to take reservations. Vrbo complements our robust distribution strategy that I just talked about. The Vrbo traveler isn't the same as the traveler who books on Orbitz, Expedia, Hotels.com, so we make sure that we're reaching both audiences. And you've heard it before, but I'll say it again. Please continue to book your reservations as early as you can, especially because our units are listed on Vrbo now. When someone reserves on the Vrbo channel, they're reserving your unit specifically, because of the pictures, what it looks like, the view it has. So we do like to try and honor those reservations as much as we can. With that said, I'm going to hand you off to Ben to talk a little bit more about what he's been up to in the owner services world.
Thanks, Kelley. This spring, a big focus for our team was to review what it means for a unit to be a standard unit versus a deluxe unit. We noticed during the past winter that there were several deluxe units with increased guest satisfaction. We pulled comments from actual guest reviews for these units and saw some themes such as dated, aging unit, tired, and worn. When guests book a deluxe unit, they have very high expectations. They expect a unit with a newer feel, and if something isn't up to standard, it can greatly impact the chance that they book at Silver King again in the future. We spent a lot of time reviewing the necessary items that needed to be upgraded in each of these units for the units to remain in the deluxe category. What we found is that it's better to be a standard unit that meets guest expectations than a deluxe unit that doesn't. It's important to look at this designation as two distinctly different room categories, and there is demand for both. Some owners chose to make the upgrades, and others decided to move to a standard. We also recognized that there was a need to update the descriptions on our website too. For the deluxe category, we noticed we needed more key phrases, such as current interior design styles, and well coordinated. The old description also had some physical features such as flat screen TVs, which are now an expectation across all categories. In the standard category, we wanted to make sure we highlighted that the essentials would be met. Guests frequently mention that they enjoy the comforts of home compared to a hotel room, so we wanted to make sure that this was mentioned for our standard category. This slide shows pictures from an actual Shadow Ridge Deluxe unit. We've had several units at Shadow Ridge do full renovations recently. Through guest comments, we found that certain items were leading to guest dissatisfaction. Updated flooring, TVs, window coverings, and lighting were mentioned frequently. Mattresses were another area of focus. Depending on status, this can be important for standard units as well. It's important for all of our guests to sleep well to experience a comfortable stay. Many units at Silver King also have a darker feel. A new coat of paint and a lighter color can really do a lot to brighten things up. We've identified a number of contractors that have competitive pricing and are easy to work with. Some offer amazing discounts. Serta in particular offers around 50% off to our owners. This spring we were able to help owners across our portfolio with 8 flooring updates, 31 TV replacements, 8 mattress replacements, 2 units were painted, and 2 units replaced window coverings. We are here to help and want to make this process easy for you. Just let Kate and me know if you're interested. As many of you know, there has been a lot of development in Park City, and more is coming. Newer product is popping up all around us. It's important to stay relevant and up to date. This allows us to increase guest satisfaction and demand higher rates. The common area update from this spring is a great step forward in presenting the building in a refreshed way. This slide shows the notice needed to guarantee your owner bookings. You can always book inside this window based upon availability. As Kelley mentioned, with listings on Vrbo, it's important to book as early as possible since these listings are unit specific. I would like to thank all of you, as our owners have done a great job booking in advance. This allows us to maximize bookings and revenue for your unit. I want to remind everyone that our owners receive 25% off on bookings at other units in our program. This includes units at Silver King, as well as other units and buildings across our portfolio. Planning a trip to San Diego or Santa Fe? I highly recommend Capri by the Sea in San Diego and Fort Marcy in Santa Fe. You can view all of our properties on our website and can book your owner discount by calling our reservation team. Most of you know the on-site team at Silver King, but just in case, Chris handles parking enforcement, citations, property building inspections, and all things HOA. John and Julia handle all things rental. This week, we're also welcoming a new team member, Toby Herm. He will oversee all of our front desk operations. I'm sure most of you know Deanne. She handles all things housekeeping in the building from a rental standpoint. You can also contact Kate and me if you need help with anything. Our offices aren't on site, but we are located at our corporate office in Kimball Junction and are a quick drive away. Thank you so much for joining us. We greatly appreciate your business. Please let us know if you have any feedback. Your feedback allows us to continue to get better. Hope to see you all around this winter.